In 2023, in a barn in Scotland, we found this Honda 125 Varadero that had been sitting for 15 years. We're going to recommission this bike and give it away to someone who really needs it. No raffles, no competitions, we are giving it away. Keep watching the video for the giveaway criteria.
Welcome back to the second part of the Varadero barn find, recommission and giveaway.
Giveaway? You mean you're not getting any money for it?
Yeah, I'm giving it away.
You mean you won't get any money at all?
Yes.
You're an idiot. I looked at Marketplace and that's worth £2,000. Why would you do that?
Yes, I know.
You know what we could do with that money? We could spend it on tyres and petrol and track days. Yes, he knows, but you should shut up because you only get us in trouble anyway. Ah, shut up you. You're boring. I will not. Rory would have loved this idea, and so do I. Besides, whenever we listen to you, we end up in trouble. Like that time you got us caught wheeling. But we like wheeling.
Yeah, we do like wheeling, that's true. But anyway, bugger off you two. Yes, I could use that money, but I promised I'm going to give it away now. So let's just get the work done, shall we?
The front forks on this bike are tatty and they're leaking. So first we've got to get the front mudguard out. Remove the speedo drive. The clamp was seized and spinning inside its captive, so we cut that off with a death wheel. And we undid the triple clamps. We finally dropped the forks out. We had to jack the bike up to get clearance to get the forks out of the trees. The front brake pads are absolutely mullered, but that's a job for later on. First, we need to see what the situation is with these forks. Use the same method on the forks as we did on the wheels. The Scotch Brite pad with some oil just saves the powder coating, but removes the corrosion. We still don't have anybody nominated for this bike yet, so if you do know anybody who would really deserve a break in their life, don't tell them to ask me. Don't tell them to contact me. You contact me. That is the part of the criteria for nominating this person for the bike.
Seals are so badly corroded inside, it's lifted the rubber away. I've never seen that on both forks as well. And these are what I'm worried about. These are the pits. I don't know how well these are coming out on camera, so I'm sorry if it's not very clear. If I just wipe the rag over that, you can see there, it's at the end of my finger, the little pits, and they're actually bubbles in the chrome, like that one, but smaller. That's the best of the two forks. This one, I haven't actually polished yet. Look how badly those are pitted. Now, I could get them out with the oil stone, but I don't know, but I'm gonna have a go.
An oil stone is a super hard abrasive rock machined to a flat surface. And then combined with the oil will remove particles of metal without getting clogged in the stone's pores. Stone is very abrasive and removes the proud parts of the chrome, leaving the flat surface undamaged. Once those proud points are removed, it allows the seal to glide over without leaking. It's a long drawn out laborious process, and it's done by ear. You have to listen. The stone will glide smoothly over the smooth parts of the stanchion, and then you will hear a sharp, gritty sound as it hits its obstacle. Only when there are no gritty sounds do you know you've actually completed the job. It feels smooth, and it's a lot better than it was, but I really do worry about this. We don't have the budget to replace these stanchions. So the best we can do is replace the seals, replace the oil, and see if it leaks. I'm not sure how it will hold up long term. If they start to rust again, they will instantly tear up the seals. But we've got to try something. If anybody's out there and they want to help us out, if you know anybody who can re-chrome these stanchions, let us know. So next we pull out the circlip and use a stanchion as a slide hammer to remove the bush and the seal.
That's not pucker, mate.
And then the seal just slides off over the top.
That looks like it's been gnawed by rats. I've never seen a fork seal like that before.
The next job is to start cleaning up all the rusty parts. And if there's one thing we've got a lot of, it's rusty parts. We've got the benchtop grinder outside. On one of the hottest days of the year, not a good idea. The benchtop wire brush was a little bit awkward and I was starting to struggle in that hot sunshine. So I decided the better option was the angle grinder with a soft pad. The swing arm had really suffered. The salt had been sitting on top of the paint and underneath the paint for 15 years. So there were literally craters. But it was 32 degrees outside and I was suffering a little bit. And I couldn't work in the workshop because that's a container, so that was about 190,000 degrees. So I decided to retire inside, do a little bit of shopping. So I finally got a whiteboard. And this is a list of the stuff I need so far. Tyres, front pads, paint, air filter, oil and filter, fork seals and bushes. I don't think there's any of those parts I can do without. The rest of it is just hard work, de-rusting, and time. Still, these parts have to be paid for. I jumped on eBay and I was just going to get a chain for this bike, but it's actually cheaper to get a chain and sprockets than it is just a chain, which is odd to me, but yeah, we'll go with it. So we'll have a nice new chain and sprockets for it. Pair of tyres, 125 quid. So. Fork seals and dust seals with the oil, £38.99. Bargain. Brake pads for the front, £13.95. And oil and filter kit, £29.95. And here it is. This is money I'm never going to see again. £238.68 total. This is AdSense, and AdSense is the way that YouTube pays you. So you're paid per every 1,000 views, and my amount is £5. Now, I'm meant to be doing this as my business, but if I am, I'm not making a very good job of it.
Now, you might be thinking, why is he telling me all this? Why do I need to know this? I'm just trying to get across why it's important that you hit like and comment on these videos. And what that does, that engages the algorithm, forces it out to more people who see the thumbnail, click on it, watch it. Without you liking and commenting, the algorithm won't do that. It won't present it to anybody else that likes the same kind of things that you do. Now, for me to break even on the money that I've just spent on parts, I will have to take, I've just done the maths on it, 44,890 views on this video for it to even out for what I've just spent. And that's not before I've given the bike away, which is going to be round about £2,000 worth of bike. For free, I'm doing it. Everybody's telling me I shouldn't be doing this. It's a foolish thing to do. But I believe in people out there. And I think you're going to see what I'm actually trying to do here. If I can achieve a business where I'm working on bikes, giving them to people who need them, and I can actually make a living from doing that, that I think is the most wholesome thing in your life that you can do. So, and I'm putting my faith in you to help me along with it. Mean it, absolutely mean it. So I'm going to ask you a little favour, if I may. Go and have a look how many views this video has got now. It will probably say something like 200, but if it's anything lower than 44,891, just go to the comment section and leave the comment supporting, and then click like. Please do that for me if that's anything below 44,000 views. So we've got the front brake. I'm going to strip the pads out of it, clean it all up, make it look new. This used to seize on. It'd stay on and then you had to hit it to get it off. In fact, when we first picked it up, the video at the beginning, it shows me pushing it out, and you can see how much I was struggling to push it out, and that's why, because this was seized up. So let's get it in bits first, and then we'll see what we need. It might just clean up and push back together, I don't know.
While I was doing this job, it was on one of the hottest days of the year here in England. It was about 34 degrees, but inside that container it was horrendous. Now I thought I brought all my tools out to complete this job, but it turns out I didn't. I had to go back in. I needed a flat screwdriver.
We'll be lucky if this comes undone, especially with a flat screwdriver. Oh, easy. That shocks me. Same with this one. Beautiful.
And now here's me using a screwdriver as a hammer, doing anything not to have to go and get one.
Oh, I've got to go back in container for a hammer. I don't think I can do it.
Like, come on, I can't, it's too hot, it's too hot.
That was seized in there. Very seized. That was probably why it had seized up. Seized on that pin, on the slider pin. But let's have a look. You can see. I have to learn not to get so close with this camera. Yeah, if this will all clean off, which it doesn't look like it's going to, we might get away with it. Just push them back in. Clean it up, put some new pads in. Yeah, there's a little spider's nest inside. A little bit of pit in there, but I don't think that will foul the seal. So if it's like that all the way around, we're good.
This is an awesome little tool. It's a little rotary wire brush that you can use to get inside the holes for the sliders and clean them out. I'll leave you an Amazon link in the description. While that penetrating spray were doing its thing, I went through and cleaned up all the hardware, ready to rebuild the caliper.
If you haven't got one of these pad return tools in your toolbox, you need one. I'll leave you a link in the description. This one seized. This is the one that's seized up. That's it. It's got right in. Whether they come back out again is another story. Let's go and fill up the compressor with compressed air and we'll try and blast those back out.
We got the airline connected up to the caliper, but there were no way it was blowing those pistons back out. They were way too seized. I decided I needed to get pressure back in the system, just so I could get those pistons moving again. So I cleaned up the fittings for the lines.
Anybody wondering where Billy is? Here he is, look. It's a warm for you, pal. Want a drink? Come on then. Right, I've jerry-rigged something together so we can get some pressure, bleed the brake through, and then possibly push the pistons out because that's jammed. This stuck. So what I want to do is work them out, lubricate them, push them back in, and just keep doing that until the seal's wet up, or get covered in grease, and then they'll free up. Right, again, don't do what I do. It's not advice. I'm just showing you what I do. Alright, just lighten that off. Now it's pulling air in now. You can hear it. So squeeze that in. This is still pumping up. Now we've got this jerry-rig system bled up now, without any pads or disc, but the pistons are definitely sticking because we've got actual pressure at the lever and no more air coming out of it, and I'm gonna have to squeeze that really hard to make these pistons pop out. Just leave the last bit of air out of it. Yeah, that's no more air, so that's fully bled. Now then, next, make sure that, we've still got air coming out. But we do have a lever. Yeah, I can see one of the pistons moving. And watch that. Gently see it coming out. So let's hold back one of those pistons. And that just wedges it down. And we'll push that one piston out until it can't really go much further. See, that's free. It's lovely and free. Just pushing it out. Let's just top up this reservoir. Right. And once I've got it far enough out, but not too far so it starts to leak. Alright. I'll get some rubber grease. Right, now I've got that one so far back in so I don't overflow the reservoir. I've got that so far in. Now I'm going to pump this one back out and I won't have to re-top up the reservoir or spill it everywhere. Now this might not come out. Oh, it's moving already. Yeah, there you go. Let's give it another squidge. That's definitely seized. But once we've pushed it all the way out, greased it and pushed it back in again, hopefully it'll free up. There you go, it's freed off. That's about ready to pop out, so give it a little clean. Right, grease that as much as we can because that grease will be going on the seal underneath. Try and get it in all the way around and then push it back in. All being well, that should be freed off now. Alright, let's see what pressure we've got in it. Yeah, see it retracting as well. Alright, let's push that one back in. Leave the tool in for that side. There you go. Yeah, it's coming out. Yeah, quite satisfied they're both free now. See them both moving. Once that's had a few e-cycles round it, it'll be as good as new. So, I'm happy to fit that back together when pads turn up.
So refitted the reservoir cap, and that's another job done. The front brake system's sealed, ready for its new pads. We're just waiting for parts now, then we can really crack on with this recommission. But what we are struggling with is a new owner. We need some suggestions from people. Once again, don't tell them to contact me. You contact me and tell me why they deserve this bike by leaving a comment in the comments section.
So that's it for this week on the Varadero. But if you want to see what happens to this project, how it turns out in the end, and who gets it, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Also, if you did enjoy this video, it really does help if you press like and leave us a comment telling us so. Or if you don't like it, still leave us a comment. Next week, it may be this bike or it may be another bike. There's something in the balance, but it's quite exciting either way. And has anybody guessed what two-stroke twin we're going to be getting on the channel pretty soon? So far, we've had a few guesses. Nobody's got it right. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.